And welcome to Underground Horror Radio. I've been bumping shit for like ever here in my office, and it's pissing me off, but I need to reorganize. Anyway, it's almost Halloween, so happy Halloween. It is 1 week away from Halloween, tomorrow, Saturday. So, very cool. So today's video, if you didn't catch the hint by the Skyrim video that I just played, the clip, vampires. One of the oldest creatures, imaginary, fabled, horror of all time. One of the oldest, next to demons and angels and the devil, I think. Yeah, vampires. I mean, who doesn't like vampires? Yeah, there was a phase where everybody liked vampires, and it was okay. Well, overly saturated, I think, from the mid-2000s. But in the long run, though, it's still going to this day. It started way before that, though. Novelizations like Bram Stoker. Then you had the movies from Universal, including before that you had, of course, Nosferatu, which is a silent movie. And then you had the Hammer movies. And then you had the 80s movies, which is like Fright Night, Vamp, and Lost Boys. 90s, and so on. So vampires have been around for a long time. A lot of people love vampires. Why not? They're cool. I love vampires. I love vampire books. I love vampire movies. I love vampire action figures. I love vampires. And so does my wife, which happens to write a couple vampire books. So we clicked on that early on when we got together. So let's see what we got here. It's so popular that it actually goes through different streams of media. So not just books, but we have video games since forever, the 80s, before that. We have board games. We have, like I said, action figures. So, look, it's so popular that even is in Magic the Gathering, right? Which is cool. I haven't opened this one yet. I don't know if I will anytime soon, but still pretty awesome. What else? RPGs. Vampires have been in role-playing games forever. This is a little known one called Savage Worlds. This is the horror companion to the Savage Worlds RPG game, which is tabletop, role-playing game. It's very cool because you can be a ghost, a werewolf, and also vampires. But they also have settings in here to fight Jason type of things, Freddy, Jaws, even but they had Buffy the Vampire Slayer in here to an extent, legally. So I always thought that was cool. That's a cool book. They even have Vampire the Masquerade. It's been around for a long time, since at least the 90s, that I remember. And now it's a cute little dictionary book. Not a dictionary, what do you call it? A journal. Which, of course, started from... Now, this is the newer editions of the game they brought back. They changed some stuff since back in the day. Because it's still World of Darkness and White Wolf, but it's also Modifius, I don't know if I said that right, Entertainment. But this is the stuff that brought back. And I got majority of this stuff all from Past, Present, Future, which is cool to have a gaming store so local. But it has all the different backgrounds, and this is just like the main book. I still have to get many other books to really get a good campaign going. And I think once this whole world crisis clears up, hopefully, we'll be able to, get back to gaming like that in person. If not, we can always do it over the computer. But see, they put in new pictures, photo pictures instead of just drawings this time, which I did like the drawings from the old books, I won't lie. But it's a nice, clean, shiny new book and I'm glad they brought it back. And it seems like they changed some of the rules to play. Yeah, so definitely check that out. Go online if you want. But it's not just that. It's not even just that. It's been so popular, again, that they actually made a comic book of Vampire the Masquerade. From... Who's making this one? Doesn't even say. I haven't opened it yet, but this is a variant cover. Again, comic book stores. So they have Vampire the Masquerade back. Even goes far back as even Warhammer. Now, of course, if you know what Warhammer is, this is pretty cool. This is from the old school Warhammer fantasy. Now, let's see. Actually, you know what? When was this book made? I'm sure it's a different edition, but... Let's see here. Work of fiction. 2011. Which is almost 10 years from now, ago. So this is the old school Warhammer fantasy. Some of the stuff that carried over into Age of Sigmar, which is what I'm playing now. So this book, can't really use it too well because the system is outdated. The old way to play. But I just like having it because it looks cool. It's a cool book. The lore, reading it. And some of the guys ended up in a different group in Age of Sigmar, which is all based in story as well. A lot of vampires and stuff ended up in what they call Legions in the Gash, Lord of the Dead. So a lot of the vampires and stuff, skeleton warriors, that kind of thing is all in like that group now. But it evolved from this to this, which is cool. This is the Warhammer Age of Sigmar current. And this is what is a group called Flesh Eater Courts, which is what I play. The models and everything, I painted and I built. And these guys are the continuation of some of the stuff from the vampire lore. The guys are vampires in a sense. They're monsters, they have wings, so they are vampires. They're just not the traditional type of vampires. The cool thing with them too is their whole thing is that they think they're in a delusion. They think they're, you know, knights, normal-looking, handsome people, when in fact they look like this. So they don't know that they're monsters, and that's kind of the fun thing about the lore. Is like they're eating a banquet, but they don't realize they're eating people. You know, you got to really read it, get into it if you want. But it's a lot of fun. I like this army. I really enjoy playing with it. I'm not winning a lot with it, but that's because I'm not the best strategist. But it's still fun to have. If you're a fan of horror and vampires and monsters, Warhammer Age of Sigmar has a lot of that stuff. They have a whole army of ghosts. It's just all kinds of cool shit. And yes, we are opening stuff today. I'm sure that was going to come up. I just wanted to go through a couple things vampire related. I mean, even in comic books, right? We got Dracula that was in Marvel. We have Vampirella, which is classic. You know, and all sorts of things. You have Morbius, a living vampire. You have Blade. It was awesome. So that's kind of where it's at. All right. So first things first, we're just going to blow the bomb off of this. So the first thing we're going to open up is, now Archie Comics does a thing, Archie Horror. And I didn't know this because I'm not really the biggest Archie fan. Like, I don't mind Archie comics and stuff. I never watched Riverdale. I don't mind The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina because of, I like the original show. I know a lot about her, Sabrina and stuff, in the comics. So it was kind of cool to have a show. So I thought that was really neat. But Archie's making other horror stuff. So this is called Vampironica, which, if you didn't know, is probably a bit of a play on Vampirella. But yeah, Vampironica. And I haven't read too much into it yet. I'm going to not open it now, but I'm going to read them. Because there's some other series in here too. But I just thought it was really cool that you had a Veronica from Archie got bit by a vampire, and that kind of thing. And she goes after monsters, and fights vampires. So it's kind of cool. But this is not what we're opening, but just take a look at the cover. Okay, keep that in mind. This, my friends, with a certificate of authenticity. I think that's how you say it. This is only a 500 edition statues. This is number 11. I got number 11. Very cool. Now, I already kind of got it out of its casing and everything, but because it's really kind of a bitch to open statues. So, kind of did all the pre-work. There we go. But I just wanted everybody to take a look here. That's a two-piece statue. You have the body. And I don't own statues too much. I have a couple little statues, kind of like this isn't too little, but it's really nice. I got like a Spawn one. I got the Dragon Ball Z ones, but those were kind of different. This is a little more pricey. This is just a straight up resin. But very cool. I like the detail. Just like the cover of the book, actually. Very much it is the cover of the book, minus the bodies. But it's really good detail. And then, of course, you have the base, which is the football field. And then they got a spot. You just put her foot, and there's this thing, and there you go. So I got this and one other one, which I'll open another day, which is bigger than this one, actually. But I do have to say, I really dig this. I really, really do. And of course, again, I got it at Past, Present, Future Comics. Again, if you need anything like Magic or Warhammer or comic books, even, you know, thick books like this, which is, you know, Volume 1, you can get it. Just go there, West Palm Beach, Military Trail, between Belvedere and, I just love the statue, and Okeechobee, by the airport. So, yeah, very cool. Just gotta put her somewhere safe. I don't want to break. I'll put it next on my Xbox right now. So, remember earlier when I said video games? One of the classic video games to have vampires in it, besides Boo Haunted House, maybe on Atari, was Nintendo's very own, with Konami, actually, Castlevanina. Oh, yeah. Now, remember, like, last time, a year or so, I had the Pop, which I have over there. Loved it. They finally made an action figure of them. Now, this is not the statue like a GameStop. This is from Dimond. It's not a statue, though. It's an action figure. But it's Dracula. And, I mean, yeah, dude, it's Dracula. And I love Dracula. So I thought it was cool. This is based on the game, but it's more so based on the Netflix series. And I thought there would be tape. So, where'd my scissors go? I'm going to do all this ahead of time, kind of, but I figured. Now, what's neat about this is the Diamond Select box is much different than the other ones. Like, if you go back to my Ghost Rider video, in fact, do I have the box still right here? This is, at least this is the Diamond Select boxes for Marvel. And this is the boxes that were for the other Castlevania stuff, like Trevor Belmont and everybody else, Alucard. So this is completely different. This is a smaller box, and the figure is not like super small. It's about your 6-inch figure. But what I wanted to see here is, you know, there is a head that he has like that's monstrous, where he's all vamped out, the red eyes, the teeth, so that's there. It doesn't come with too much, except for 2 extra hands and a awesome chandelier, which is, you know, notorious in the games for breaking and getting stuff out of them. So let's see. His arms move really well. His hands, actually very rubbery. Huh. Still, it does move pretty well. It's got a ball joint. You can do this, you know. His head moves. Of course, he's got the cape on. I don't think the cape will come off. I think maybe if you did it a certain way, it could. But again, why would you want to get rid of Dracula's cape anyway? That's like part of his thing. So the cool thing about it is that, you know, he moves, he bends. His legs are very nice and bendy. Let's see his back legs. Yeah. His outfit's kind of in the way. It's a lighter plastic. It moves. Dracula turns? Yeah, he turns. So you see with the cape and stuff, he turns. Very cool, though. And so, yeah, okay. So the cape, see, I kind of goofed there. The cape is kind of on its own there. And then you could press this thing deep down. So I guess you could remove the cape if you wanted. But yeah, so anyway, he's not the most movable action figure, but I don't care. He's Dracula. He just looks cool. He looks like a badass monster vampire that's going to murder you if he wanted to. So yeah. I'd say, you know, Dimond Select did a pretty good job. I'd like to see like a NECA or a McFarlane version of this as well. But definitely a NECA. For sure. But, you know, it's kind of cool. Yeah, I'd say that. Again, he's not so much as moving around as he just is a, you know, badass figure. Does he stand all right? I think his cape will either... No, his cape actually helps, so he stands up just fine. So you got my my approval there. So I think that's going to do it for this episode of unboxing. I want to go over vampire stuff, just show off some things I have. Because again, I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan. You know, that's just the way it is. And I always have been. So I think it's really neat. And again, I love the Vampironica statue. And one day I think we'll do a thing where we go over the comic. Because it looks very intriguing. And again, I read through a couple pages, which is why I got it. And it was really good so far. I like the premise. And there's another one that is related to it that I will open, just not right now. And then coming week, we have a lot of stuff to open for Halloween. So thank you again. I know I didn't really get a video out last week. I've been really busy. But anyway, happy Halloween and be good to each other.